Hello friends, hope you all are doing well. Myself Anurodh Ankit. Today we are going to discuss compound interest. In our last lecture, we have learned simple interest. Friends, the major difference between compound interest and simple interest is that in simple interest, the principal is constant throughout. But in case of compound interest, amount for any compounding period becomes principal for the next compounding period. Okay, so I will explain you this concept in detail. First, we will look into some formula. So if we have to find the amount, so how to find the amount? The amount is principal into 1 plus r by 100 raised to the power n. Here P is the principal, A is the amount, R is the rate of interest, and N is the number of years. Now if we have to find compound interest, the compound interest is what? P into 1 plus r by 100 raised to the power n minus 1. Again, n is number of years, r is rate of interest, P is principal. Now the third formula, if the difference between CI and SI is given and you have to find the principal, so how you will find it? So the difference is equivalent to principal into r by 100 raised to the power n for 2 years, and the difference for 3 years between CI and SI is calculated by this formula, P into r by 100 raised to the power n into 3 plus r by 100. But friends, I will recommend you that you don't have to use any of the formula. This formula I have simply given you because you will think that I have not provided you the formula, but I have simply given you this formula which everyone uses. But I will not recommend any of this formula. The entire question in compound interest we will solve on the basis of the concept what I will teach you. Because most of the time in the examination when the question will come, there the concept will play a vital role, not the formula. Because in most of the cases you will find that you are unable to apply the formula or your calculation will become quite tedious, that in the middle of the question you will get stuck and then you have to leave the question. So you are wasting your time as well as you are not reaching till the answer. So it will hamper your success. So better leave this formula and learn the concept of compound interest, that how we will solve the entire question without any formula, and that too within 30 to 40 seconds. 30 to 40 seconds or even less than that. So okay, I will tell you one by one. First, I will explain you the entire concept on compound interest. What does this mean? Suppose a person has deposited 100 rupees in the bank for 2 years at the rate of 10%. So after 2 years, what will be his amount? After 2 years, what will be the compound interest? Like this, we will calculate. Now, the person has deposited an amount for 2 years. So for the first year, he will get 10% of this principal as the interest. That is 10 rupees. Now for the second year, what he will get? So for the second year, this amount for the first year will become principal for this second year. So the amount is principal plus interest, that is 110. So this 110 has become principal for the next year, and next year also you will get at the same rate, that is 10% of this 110, that is the amount for the present year. Okay, now you will say that you will get 11 rupees as the compound interest for the next year, means for second year, not for the entire 2 years. For second year you will get 11 rupees as the compound interest. Now we will break this concept. How? Suppose you have deposited 100 rupees, so for the first year you got 10 rupees. Now compound interest is basically interest on interest. Okay, so 110 rupees is the principal for the next year. We can break this 110 as 100 plus 10, that is 100 is the principal, is the initial principal, and 10 is the interest for this year. So on this principal you will get 10%, that is right here 10, and on this interest you will get 10% of this, that is 1. So total compound interest at the rate of 10%, you have got 21 rupees as the compound interest. Now simple interest is how much? So 10 plus 10 for 2 years, it is rupees 20. Now amount is how much? So amount is 100 plus CI 21, that is 121. Now if somebody will ask you what is the compound interest for the second year, so for the second year what is the compound interest? So 10 plus 1, that is 11. What is the difference between simple interest and compound interest? So compound interest is 21, simple interest is 20, difference is 1. Now if any of the given value is given, you can calculate the entire value. Let's say it is given that the simple interest at the rate of 10% for 2 years is 60 rupees. Now tell me the amount at the end of 2 years. So here this 20 is equivalent to how much? 60, because we know that the simple interest at 10% rate for 2 years is 20%. Means if you have taken this value 100, so it becomes 20%. So 20% is equivalent to 60. Now you have to find the amount. So amount, you know that it is 121%. So 121% is equivalent to how much? So this is 3 times. So this will also become 3 times. That is 363. Now if you have to calculate the compound interest for the second year, so you know the simple interest, that is 20%, is equivalent to 60. So compound interest for the second year is 11%. So 11% is how much? So again into 3, that is 33. You have to find the difference between simple interest and compound interest. Now 20% value is equivalent to 60, and the difference, you know that this is 1%. 1% is how much? So into 3, that is 3. So this is the best way to solve the question on compound interest. Okay, now this was for 2 years. Now if it is for 3 years, or for 4 years, or for 5 years, or for 6 years, whatever it is, you can calculate for n number of years if you know the concept. Okay, now if you have deposited 100 rupees, the rate is how much? 10%. Now for the first year you will get 10. Now for the second year, what you will get? So 100 and this 10, 110. So for this 100 you get 10 rupees as the interest, and for this 10 you get 1 rupee as the interest. Now for the third year, what is your amount? So amount is 100 plus 10 plus 10 plus 1. Means this is your interest, that is 21 is the interest, and this was your principal 100. Now this on whole 121 you will get the interest of 10%. Now again I will break it. So this 10% of this 100, you know 10, and 10% of this 21, the total interest is 21, so it is 2.1. Now again the simple interest is how much for 3 years? So 10 10 10, that is 30%. Now compound interest is how much? So this 30 and this 2.1 and 1, that is 3.1, so 33.1. Now difference between CI and SI is how much? So difference is, this is the difference, 1 and 2.1, that is 3.1 is the difference. Now what is the compound interest for second year? For second year it is 11%. What is the compound interest for third year? For third year, so it is 10 plus 2.1, that is 12.1%. Now you can find even what is the difference between compound interest and simple interest for third year. For third year, this is 2.1, because for the third year the simple interest is 10 and the compound interest is 12.1. The difference for the third year is 2.1. So you can find n number of results by this single concept. And if any of the data is given, suppose let's say it is given the difference between the CI and SI for 3 years is 9.3. So find the sum. Now the difference, you know that it is 3.1%. So 3.1% is equivalent to 9.3. So 100% is equivalent to how much? So it's 3 times from here. So it will also become 3 times. that is 300. If on the same data, if you have to calculate what is the difference between CI and SI for third year, so for third year, you know 2.1. So 3.1 is equivalent to 9.3, that is 3 times. So this will also become 3 times, that is 6.3. So in the same way, you can find n number of results. Okay, so I hope that you have learned this concept. Now we will directly jump to the question, and there we will see that how we will be able to solve the entire question within the certain time frame. Okay, so no need to require any formula for this chapter. Now the first question. Amit Kumar invested an amount of rupees 15,000 at compound interest at a rate of 10% per annum for a period of 2 years. What amount will he receive at the end of 2 years? So here the principal is 15,000, rate is 10%. So on first year 1500, again the second year 1500, and the compound interest, the extra means the interest on interest, that is 10% of this 1500 is 150. So what is the amount? So amount is 15,000 plus 1500 plus 1500, that is 3,000, and 150, that is 3,150, that is 18,150 is the answer. So by this way you can solve the question very easily and error free. So here you will not require a lot of calculation, and you will solve the question on the basis of the concept. So I think, friends, that your question number 1 is clear to all of you. Now the next question. What is the amount at compound interest for 2 years at 2% per annum? Okay, so you have to find the amount at compound interest for 2 years at 2% per annum. And here the options are 1.404 times the principal. Achha, so in on times basis means if your amount is 100 rupees, sorry, if your principal is 100 rupees and your amount is 150 rupees, so this amount is how much times of this principal? Means 150 upon 100, that is 1.5 times. So in this way you have to answer the question that this amount is how many times of this principal. So first you will calculate the amount, then you will divide it by the principal, so the result will be your answer. Okay, so rate is 2% per annum. Suppose you have deposited 100 rupees, rate is 2% per annum. So first year simple interest is 2, second year is 2, and for second year what compound interest will get? So this interest on interest, that is 2% of 2, that is 0.04. Now the amount will be how much? Amount is 100 plus 2 plus 2 4 and 0.04, that is 4.04, that is 104.04 is the amount. Your principal is 100, so divided by principal you will get the number of times. 104.04 divided by 100, so it becomes 1.0404 times the principal. So your answer is option number C. Okay, fine. Now the third question. Rupees 7,500 is borrowed at compound interest at the rate of 4% per annum. What will be the amount to be paid after 1 year if interest is compounded half yearly? For the last two questions we have done where the interest was compounded yearly. If nothing is written, it means that interest is being compounded yearly. But for this question, it is written that the interest is compounded half yearly, means after every 6 months you will add the interest on interest. So this rate is given as 4% for the entire year. So what will be the rate on half yearly basis? So 4% by 2, that is 2%. So after every 6 months, the interest will get added. So 7,500. So 2% of this 7,500 is how much? 1%, 10% is 750, 1% is 75. So 2% is 150. So 150 here also and 150 here also. Then 2% of this 150, that is 10% is 15, 1% is 1.5, so 2% is 3. Now you have to find the amount. So amount is 7,500 plus 150 plus 150, that is 300, and plus 3, that is 303. So you get 7803. D is the answer. Okay. Now the next question. An amount of money grows up to rupees 10,648 in 3 years and up to rupees 9,680 in 2 years on compound interest. Find the rate of interest. Here you have to find the rate of interest. So I will explain you this question on the basis of the concept what we have learned here. Now, what does this mean? Here might be some sum would be there. So it will grow by a certain rate of interest for the first year, then will grow with the same rate of interest for the second year. Now here it is given that this principal has become this amount at the end of 2 years. So this amount is the principal for the next year, and this principal has grown up to 10,648 for the third year. So how much is the increase? So increase is how much? 968. So this 968 is how much percent of this 9,680? So this is 10%. Means 10% is the rate of interest. Every year it is getting increased by 10%. So your answer is B. Now many people will apply a lot of formula for such type of questions, but if you are thorough with the concept, you don't require any formula. Simply you look at this, that how much is the increase. So increase for 1 year is 968, and the principal was 9680 for that year. So this is 10%. So the rate of interest came out to be 10% for this year, because the rate of interest is a constant. It doesn't get changed. Only the principal gets changed in compound interest. The rate of interest is constant. Okay, now the next question. I have taken this question on a similar pattern what we have learned here. So, okay. What sum of money at compound interest will amount to rupees 650 at the end of first year and 676 at the end of second year? Means here you have to find this sum also. Means this sum became 650 for first year and became 676 for second year. Now how much is the increase? So increase is 26. Now this 26 is how much percent of this 650? So 650 is 100%, so 65 is 10%, so 6.5 is 1%. So 13 is 2%. So if 13 is 2%, 26 is how much? 4%. So the rate of interest is 4%. So it will also be 4%. So if this is 100%, so increase is 4%, so it will become 104%. And the value of 104% is given as 650. So we have to find what is 100%. Now cancel it in 13 table, 50 times, 13, 8 times, then 4 and 25. Now from here it's 25 times, so again it's 25 times. So 25 into 25 is 625. Friends, these are the best method to solve the question. Once you have initiated, you will reach at the final answer. You will not stuck in between. No need to require any formula. The best method to solve the question on compound interest is this line method. This method is known as line method. Okay, friends. Now the next question. An amount of money grows up to 4840 in 2 years and up to rupees 5324 in 3 years on compound interest. Find the sum. Exactly the question on the question which we have discussed here on the same pattern. Means here it is saying that here might be some principal. So in 2 years it became 4,840. So in second year, means for first year, second year, so this became 4,840 rupees, and third year it became 5,324. Okay, so we have to find the sum. So again, how much is the increment from second year to third year? So the increment is 4,840, means 160 plus 324. The increment is 484. So this 484 is how much percent of this 4840? So this is 10%. So here also it will be 10%, here also it will be 10%. Now, this is the amount after 2 years. Now we know that at the rate of 10%, the amount is 121%. How? This is 10%, this is 10%, and for the second year, this 10% of this 10, that is 1%. So amount is 121%, and this 121% is equivalent to 4,840. Means this is 40 times. So what is 100%? So 100% is how much? This will also be 40 times, that is 4,000. So option number A is the correct answer. Okay, fine. An amount of money grows up to 4,500 in 2 years and up to rupees 6,750 in 4 years on compound interest. Find the sum. Here the growth for 2 years is given. Means initially after 2 years it grows 4,500, and again after 2 years the sum grows up to 6,750. So you have to find the initial sum. So what is the growth in 2 years? So the growth is how much? So 2,250 is the growth. So this 2,250 is how much percent of this 4,500? So this is 2,250 is how much percent? Of 50%. Now here after every 2 years the growth is 50%. So here also the growth will be 50%. Means after every two years the amount gets in, the principal gets increased by 50%. That is, it becomes 150%. So 150% is equivalent to 4,500. So 100% is equivalent to how much? So this is 30 times. So this will also become 30 times. That is 3,000 is the answer. So option number C is the correct answer. Okay, thank you. Okay, now the next question. What is the principal amount which earns rupees 132 as compound interest for the second year at 10% per annum? Now friends, if you don't know the concept of compound interest, you can't apply any formula for this question. This question can't be solved on the basis of formula. Okay, now we know how to solve it. What is given? The compound interest for the second year at 10% per annum is given as 132. Now I have explained you here at the beginning of the class, and that how the compound interest gets changed. Look here, at 10% per annum rate, the compound interest for the second year is how much? 11%. Here I have explained you the CI is 11%. So this 11% value is given as 132. Means if you are depositing 100 rupees, say let's say it's 100%. So here it's 10%, here it's 10%, and 10% of 10%, that is 1%. So the compound interest for second year came out to be, this is for only for the second year, not for the 2 years, means not for the entire year. This is only for the second year. So compound interest for second year, it came out to be 11%, and this 11% value is given as 132. Means 11% is equivalent to 132. So you have to find the principal amount. That is, principal is always taken in 100%. So what is means 100%? So this is 12 times. So this will also become 12 times. That is 1200. So Option number B is the correct answer for this question. Okay. Now this question. Question number 9. At what rate percent per annum will rupees 80,000 amount to rupees 88,200 in 2 years? The interest is compounded yearly. Now friends, again I will explain you the concept behind this question so that you can solve any type of questions quite easily. Look, if generally you will get in the examination the rate below 10%. For most of the questions, for rate above 10%, I will explain you different later. But here what I am explaining you, if the rate is till 10%, means 10% or below 10%. Okay. Now, for 2 years, if you are depositing 100 rupees or let's say 100%, so if the rate is 1%, so what is the compound interest? 1% for 1 year, 1% for next year, and this 1% of 1, that is 0.01, that is compound interest is 2.01, simple interest is 2%. Means compound simple interest is an even number and compound interest is just above that even number. Look here, if the rate is 2%, again at 100%, this becomes 2 and this is 0.04. So simple interest is how much? 4%. Compound interest is how much? 4.04. Now again at 2% rate, simple interest is an even number, compound interest is just greater than that even number. When the rate is 3%, again at 100%, this becomes 3 and 3% of 3, that is 0.09. Again the simple interest is how much? 6%, and the compound interest is how much? 6.09%. Let's take R is 8%. So again this 8 and this 0.64. So compound is simple interest is how much? 16%, and compound interest is how much? Just greater than this even number, that is 16.64. When the rate is 9%, so it is 100, so 9 and 0.81. Again simple interest is 18%, compound interest is 18.81%. Means simple interest is an even number, compound interest is just greater than that even number. Now here you don't have to find the percentage, you just have to make a guess that this percent is just greater than which even number. Here for 2 years, the principal amount is 80,000 and your amount is 88,200, means your compound interest is 8,200. This 8,200 is greater than which even number? So 8,200 is how much percent of this 80,000? So if it would be 8,000, this would be 10%, and if it would be 8,800, this would be 11%. So it is greater than 10% and less than 11%. 8,200 is greater than 10% and less than 11%. Okay, so it is just greater than that even number, that is 10%. So rate will be how much? 5%. Because 10% is for 2 years, so for 1 year it will be 5%. Okay, I will give you another question on the same concept so that your concept will get clear. So here B is the answer. Again, at what rate percent compound interest will 400 amount to rupees 441 in 2 years? Here again the principal is 400, amount is 441, so compound interest is 41. So this 41 is how much percent of this 400? So this is, if it would be 40, then it would be 10%, but this is 41, so this is greater than 10%. So again this 41 is greater than 10%, and if it would be 44, it would become 4, if it will be 44, then it will become 11%. But this is 41, so less than 44, so it is less than 11%. So this is between 10% and 11% again. Now this is just greater than this even number, that is 10. So again the rate is 5%, because this 10% is what? So this 10% rate is for 2 years. So for 1 year the rate is 5%. So I hope, friends, that you have got some concept on this compound interest. Now I will give you the exercise questions on this simple interest as well as this compound interest. So thank you, friends.